In 1944, one man received a medal from Adolf Hitler. That same year, he received a medal from King George VI. He is the only person in history to be decorated by both sides of World War II. The Germans gave him the Iron Cross for his extraordinary service to the Nazi war effort. The British gave him membership in the Order of the British Empire for helping win the war. And here's the thing, he wasn't a soldier, he wasn't trained as a spy, he was a chicken farmer from Barcelona who had failed at basically everything he'd ever tried. His name was Juan Pujol García, and he may have single-handedly saved D-Day. Juan Pujol was born in Barcelona in 1912. His family was comfortable. His father owned a small cotton factory. But Juan was not what you'd call a high achiever. He became a certified chicken farmer. Then he tried managing a cinema. Failed. Tried running a hotel. Failed. The chicken farm? Also failed. When the Spanish Civil War broke out in 1936, he got pulled into military service. But here's where it gets interesting. Pujol managed to serve on both sides of the Spanish Civil War, Republican and Nationalist, without ever firing a single shot for either one. He hid when he could, switched sides when he had to, did whatever it took to survive without actually fighting for anyone. By the time the Civil War ended in 1939, Pujol had developed a deep hatred for two things, fascism and communism. He wanted nothing to do with either. Then World War II started, and this failed chicken farmer decided he was going to do something about it. In January 1941, Pujol walked into the British embassy in Madrid. He told them he wanted to spy for Britain against Nazi Germany. They said no. He came back. They said no again. He tried a third time. Still no. The British had no use for an unemployed Spanish chicken farmer with no military training, no intelligence experience, and no connections. They thought he was either useless or a German plant. So Pujol made a decision that sounds insane. If the British won't hire me as a spy, I'll become a German spy first. Then the British will have to take me seriously. He created a fake identity, posed as a fanatically pro-Nazi Spanish government official. He even tricked a printer in Lisbon into making him a fake diplomatic passport by claiming he worked for the Spanish embassy. Then he contacted German military intelligence and offered his services. The Germans loved him. They gave him a crash course in espionage, a code book, a bottle of invisible ink, and 600 British pounds for expenses. His mission? Travel to London, recruit agents, and send back intelligence on British military operations. There was just one problem. Juan Pujol didn't go to London. He went to Lisbon instead. He didn't speak English. He had never been to England. He had no idea what British life was actually like. But he started sending intelligence reports anyway. From his apartment in Portugal, armed with nothing but a tourist guidebook to Britain, a British railway timetable, and a few magazines from the local library, Pujol began inventing an entire spy network. He created fictional agents, a Portuguese businessman named Carvalho, a Swiss man named Gerbers, a Venezuelan student, a Welsh nationalist. Eventually, he had a network of agents spread across Britain, all of them completely imaginary. He submitted expense reports, travel costs based on the railway timetable. The Germans reimbursed him for all of it. His reports contained mistakes that anyone who'd actually been to Britain would have caught immediately. He got basic geography wrong. His understanding of British currency was shaky at best. But the Germans believed every word. They gave him the code name ARABEL. They considered him one of their best sources in Britain, and they kept paying him. Meanwhile, British intelligence was intercepting German communications and trying to figure out who this incredibly productive spy in Britain actually was. They launched a manhunt. They couldn't find him because he wasn't in Britain. The breakthrough came when Pujol reported that a British convoy was about to sail. The Germans scrambled resources to intercept it. The convoy didn't exist. British intelligence realized whoever this guy is, he's making it all up, and he's fooling the Nazis completely. In early 1942, the British finally tracked Pujol down in Lisbon. This time, they were very interested. MI5 brought him to London. By 1944, the Germans were paying salaries to 27 agents in Britain. Every single one of them was fake. The network was so productive that German intelligence in Spain stopped trying to recruit any other spies in Britain. Why bother? They already had the best. And the Germans had no idea that their most trusted source was working for the other side. In January 1944, the Germans sent Pujol an urgent message. They'd received intelligence that the Allies were planning a major invasion of Europe. They needed him to report any unusual troop movements, ship concentrations, or signs of preparation. They were right. The invasion was coming. What the Germans didn't know was that the Allies were planning the largest amphibious assault in history, and that Pujol was about to play a starring role in keeping them guessing. The invasion would land at Normandy, but the Allies needed the Germans to believe it would come at Pas de Calais, the narrowest point of the English Channel, about 150 miles northeast of the actual landing site. This deception was called Operation Fortitude, and it was massive. The Allies created an entire fake army, the first United States Army Group, supposedly commanded by General George Patton, the commander the Germans feared most. They built inflatable tanks, dummy aircraft, fake landing craft made from scaffolding and empty barrels. They transmitted fake radio chatter across southeastern England. From the air, it looked like a massive invasion force preparing to cross at Dover. But the physical deception was only half the plan. The other half was GARBO. Between January and June 1944, Pujol sent over 500 radio messages to German intelligence, sometimes more than 20 per day. Each message built the case. The big attack was coming at Calais. On the night of June 5, 1944, Pujol radioed Madrid. He told them to stand by. One of his agents was about to arrive with critical intelligence. At 3 a.m. on June 6th, Pujol made the call. No one answered. The German radio operators in Madrid had gone off the air at 11:30 p.m. They wouldn't be back until 7 a.m. By the time they finally responded at 8 a.m., Allied troops were already storming the beaches of Normandy. Pujol was furious, or at least he pretended to be. "I cannot accept excuses or negligence," he wrote back. "Were it not for my ideals, I would abandon the work." The Germans apologized profusely. They had missed his warning about Normandy. But here's the genius. Because they missed the warning, Pujol's credibility actually increased. He had tried to warn them. It wasn't his fault. They weren't listening. If you like the stories about war, people, and history-changing events, subscribe to our channel.